as Vladimir Putin is in New Delhi for the India-Russia annual summit that will be taking place. Now, as soon as Vladimir Putin touched down in Delhi, a clear message was sent out that this isn't like any other state visit. The Russian president received a ceremonial welcome that no protocol book could predict. Prime Minister Modi himself was at the aircraft ramp. The two were friends, sharing a bear hug, and minutes later driving off together in a display of car diplomacy 2.0. Day one of Putin's visit to India wasn't about speeches or summit notes. It was only about signals and symbols. Now, the most important signal being the bonhomie of the two nations and their leaders. That is, take a look at this report as to how this camaraderie was on full display last evening when, in fact, Prime Minister Modi hosted the president at his own official residence for a dinner later.
A red carpet, a cultural greeting, and Prime Minister Modi himself receiving. This wasn't any other welcoming of a head of state. It was one that went beyond protocol and into the realm of personal bonds. As Russian President Vladimir Putin descended from his aircraft, he was greeted warmly and embraced by PM Narendra Modi. What followed was a sequel of the much-loved car diplomacy, two of the world's most powerful leaders ditching protocol and hitching a ride together, boosting their friendship. It's peak camaraderie that the world has already seen just 3 months ago, when the Prime Minister had met the Russian President this fall in China. The two leaders had then spent 45 minutes conversing, sharing laughs and discussing the world order in Vladimir Putin's car. The Russian President himself told India Today how there was no orchestration, no obligation, just two friends getting together in one car, two friends who always have something to talk about.
Вы знаете, обсуждали текущие вопросы.
We were talking about just the current agenda. It was not pre-planned.
Вышли на улицу,
We just went outside into the street and my car was there and I suggested that we should get together just, as a sign of friendship, for comradeship. There's nothing, no complicated orchestration, just as friends. We got together in one car and we spoke. Along the road, there was always something to talk about. And, we had a conversation. We even sat in the car for quite some time. And then I said, yes, we should go because they're waiting for us. But there's nothing special about that. It just testifies to the fact that there's a lot we have to talk about. And these topics are of importance to us.
From Putin's black limousine to Modi's white Fortuner, these aren't pre-planned diplomatic gestures. They are a repeated show of the ties that India and Russia share. Even the corridors of Kremlin were left surprised. Russian officials said that Modi's decision to meet Putin at the ramp of the aircraft was unexpected, a clear sign that this visit would be more than just business as usual. And why wouldn't it? After all, it is Putin's first visit to India since 2021. It's a visit that reflects renewed focus on boosting trade, defense cooperation, and energy partnership. And it's a visit that signals New Delhi and Moscow repelling Washington's increased pressure on India to stop buying Russian oil.
Neither me nor Prime Minister Modi, despite certain external pressure we face, have ever, and I want to emphasize this, I want you to hear it, approached our collaboration to work against someone. President Trump has his own agenda, his own goals, whereas we focus on ours. Not against anyone, but rather aimed at safeguarding our respective interests, India's and Russia's interests. In our dealings, we cause no harm to others, and I believe that leaders from other countries should appreciate.
As President Putin rightly pointed out, these ties really do go decades back, not just between the two nations, but also between Modi and Putin themselves. They share a bond built over nearly 25 years, a relationship that began in 2001 when, as Chief Minister of Gujarat, Modi had accompanied then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee to Moscow and met President Putin. This marked the beginning of a connection that has only deepened with time. On Friday, as Vladimir Putin concludes his 11th visit to India, ties with Moscow aren't just being reaffirmed, they are being reimagined. And the bonhomie between Modi and Putin is riding shotgun on the powerful message being sent to the Western world. Bureau Report, India Today.
With that, viewers, let's quickly take a look at what exactly are we looking at when we discuss the bilateral talks that's to take place later in the day. And as we have been mentioning time and again, the defense seems to be at the topmost priority of that very list, apart from trade talks that will take place between the two leaders. Here is a very data set that we present to you in terms of India's arm imports, and this is the Russia reset that it has in fact undergone. From the years 2010 to 14, we've seen it at 72%. Again, this is from CIPRI data, the source being CIPRI data. 2015 onward to 2019, we have seen it come down a bit to 55%, and then 2020 to 2024, we again look at it coming down to 36%. So that is where it currently stands in terms of India's imports, and this is the arms imports that we're discussing about as to how it has traveled the trajectory over the years, and this is the Russian reset that we are in fact discussing about. With that, let's also take you through the defense cooperation, which is also another very important subject matter that will be taken up by the two leaders today at that very bilateral meeting that is to take place. This is S-400 air defense systems, the T-90 tanks and the T-72 upgrades, the Su-30 and the MiG-29 fighter jets, the Kriva class stealth frigates, the Kamov Ka-31 helicopters, the Chakra-3 nuclear-powered attack sub, the BMP-2 IFVS amphibious infantry vehicle. So these are the machineries, or rather the systems, the defense systems that seem to be of top priority in terms of discussions. It's also something that we heard from the president, the president addressing upon when the question was posed by both of our colleagues, Geeta Mohan and Anjana Kashyap, when they were discussing a plethora of subjects with him in the exclusive interview. And right now, as we speak of the defense systems and the defense cooperation between the two countries, let's take you through what exactly is the current situation. India already fields the proven S-400 air defense system, but the big focus now is on what comes next. That is the next generation, the fifth generation, the S-500s. From battlefield-tested protection to the near-space interception capabilities, here's how India's missile shield could be transformed with the Russian support. Let's take a look at this report.
The S-400 air defense missile system, the difference maker during Operation Sindoor. It came from Russia with love and brought Pakistan to its knees. But if India's enemies thought that the S-400 was deadly, wait till they face the wrath of the S-500. A high-stakes visit, advanced air defense systems, potentially defining India's security posture, all on the agenda. And the big headline is the next generation S-500 Prometheus. Unlike the S-400, the S-500 isn't just about air threats. It promises a multi-domain shield, air, ballistic missile, even near-space defense. Its reach up to roughly 500 to 600 kilometers, with an altitude intercept capability as high as 180 to 200 kilometers. That's a massive jump from the S-400's roughly 400 kilometer range and 30 kilometer altitude ceiling. The S-400 counters aircraft, drones and cruise missiles. The S-500 aims to handle all of that, plus long-range ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons and strategic threats. If the deal goes through, and especially if co-production begins on Indian soil, the S-500 could become India's single biggest defense acquisition from Russia. With Putin in New Delhi this week, attention is firmly on whether the S-500 deal and perhaps even joint production will be sealed. If it is, India's air and missile defense architecture could enter a new era. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now viewers, that is the defense sector that we're looking at, the defense cooperation rather that we're looking at between the two nations. But let's also take you to another important part of discussion that we all have our eyes set on today, which is the trade relations between the two. Now, let us quickly take you through what the 2024 Indian Imports Report Card looked like from Russia. If we look at crude oil and fuels, it stands at $60 billion. Edible oils at $2.25 billion, fertilizers at $1.61 billion, precious stones at $783 million, and other miscellaneous commodities at $766 million. So this is a report of sorts that we bring to you from the year 2024, that is the previous year, in terms of how the trade relations have been, or rather, more specifically, what the import value, the worth of imports made from Russia has been in the year 2024, and that is where it stands at. So yes, the day's agenda is set. It is Namaste Putin and the bilateral talks that is to take place with President Putin and Prime Minister Modi already having shown a full display of camaraderie. So